Our daughter Maggie was born on May 11th, 2023. We were really excited for her arrival, in particular because we felt like she would really blend our family and be something we would all share together. Around Christmas of 2022, we went in for a scan to find out the gender. And we were real excited because we had planned to tell the kids. It was almost like an early Christmas gift to tell them, whether they were going to have a brother or a sister. The sonographer had a hard time locating Maggie, or at least locating her in the right position to determine the gender. So we left the appointment feeling a little disappointed, I think.
We didn't really feel anything was wrong at that point. It was more just like this sadness that we couldn't, bring the baby into like our Christmas celebration.
We didn't even really take note of the fact that during the scan, the sonographer really wasn't saying a whole lot. Shortly after that appointment, we got a phone call from your midwife, and they informed us that there was some signs of severe neurological abnormalities.
It was a gut punch. So after Christmas, there were some more tests because they wanted to confirm what they were seeing, and the only thing they were saying was like, your baby's going to die.
I think the biggest thing we clung to was her name.
This is our daughter. Her name is Maggie. Her middle name is Hope. And we just decided to keep fighting.
Yep.
I made it to the second trimester. And once we got to the third trimester, that's when a lot of our doctors and our midwife was like, okay, you might have a full-term baby, so we really need to talk about what birth is going to look like. We've heard this so much, and other parents, especially mothers who have carried with life-limiting diagnosis, you're so strong, you're incredible, like we don't know how you're putting one foot in front of the other. And those are true and those are encouraging, but we also just didn't have a choice. And I really wanted to have a choice. We made it to the weekend before her due date, and then we made it to her due date, and she was born on her due date. Like, yeah, look what she did. She made it.
She did, yeah.
When we got to the hospital, her heart was really strong. Her heartbeat was exactly what it was supposed to look like, and I was healthy, exactly what I was supposed to look like. And then in the last 2 hours of birth, her heart gave up.
I just remember her, her being born, and they put her on your chest, and you had like a peace, but it wrecked me. And I just remember looking at her, and she was so peaceful and perfect, but at the same time knowing that I would never get to know her, I would never hold her hand, I would never teach her how to ride a bike, I would never talk her through difficult circumstances, and that just shattered me in that moment.
The pain settled in pretty quickly. That afternoon, we left the hospital empty-handed. She was born just a few days before Mother's Day last year, so that weekend, just a little over 24 hours after her being born, we had to go to the funeral home and have conversations, and there's only a few miles between our house and that funeral home, and we drove it so many times that we call it Maggie's Walk, because we often will walk. And saw her one last time on Mother's Day. And that was it.
You think about sort of the last time you see our earthly bodies a certain way, but then when you're looking at your child, it's completely, even though you know that she's already been healed and that there's nothing left to do here on earth, there's still this like heartache and sorrow that comes from knowing this is the last time you're going to look at her, how she is.
The feeling of losing Maggie happened right after she was born, when we left the hospital. And I remember in the days and the week after we came home, after she died, I said that to you. I was like, it feels like she's gone. It feels like she doesn't exist. There are times where she just doesn't feel real. And so talking about Maggie, sharing her story, as difficult as it can be, and we're still learning how to share it, it just means that she just becomes more real.
That's been huge, and for me, it's gone from something I didn't really know how to talk about, something I didn't even really want to talk about, to be honest, to something I didn't really know how to talk about, to now like something I'm excited to talk about. Like, I'm excited to talk about, that was Maggie's dad. I am Maggie's dad.
The way that grief and pain ebb and flow, and they come so unexpectedly, and I didn't anticipate the anger that I feel just in life in general, but also toward God, and it's something that I'm actively working through and spending time in.
That's the interesting thing with pain, I think, and that's the hope of pain, is that it changes us, right? Like, for me, it's completely changed me. I mean, I'll never be the same. I think it's made me a more empathetic person, more understanding. I just see things completely differently, and I'm able to enter into these relationships and understanding with people who've walked the same path that I never would have been able to enter into in the same way.
So I'd much rather have Maggie here with us than to share a story like this, but because this is our story, and because of Maggie, we get to sit in a place that can be compassionate and empathetic and connected to other people who are experiencing similar pain.
So I think when we talk about the hope for eternity, there's the verse, what Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, really comes really to the forefront for me. And he says, that is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day. For our present troubles are small and won't last very long, yet they produce for us a glory that vastly outweighs them and will last forever. So we don't look at the troubles we can see now, rather we fix our gaze on things that cannot be seen. For the things we see now will soon be gone, but the things we cannot see will last forever.